You're listening to the Mind Podcast.
Hello friends, thanks for joining us today. Today's guest will be shedding some light on all the mental health struggles that come along with a chronic illness diagnosis. Hope you enjoy. So, what we'll do to start with is, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh gosh.
You're like, no, not really.
Well, my name is Kirstyn. On social media, I go by Kirstyn Diane, and I have a YouTube channel. I have my Instagram feed and everything. But I really started my social platform growing by using and telling my story about my MS, multiple sclerosis. I was diagnosed in 2018. And with that, it came with a lot of trials and tribulations. And with that came along with mental health and illness, I would say. So, the reason I made all my platforms and to try and grow them bigger is to raise awareness. I feel like, we know a lot about certain things, but we have trouble normalizing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is a problem right now with mental health. And you guys can, take over with that topic, but I just want to say that's been a huge struggle for me on my journey. And I'm just here to, make it a little bit more normal for people.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's the intention, right?
Yeah.
Just like everyone goes through crud.
Yeah, they do.
Right? And no one talks about it.
Yeah, I feel like people might be scared of judgment, scared of being turned down. There's just a lot of things that come along with that and the being scared of it.
Yeah.
Talking about it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. It's definitely something that people really need to be aware of, because if we can normalize it, then we can talk about it and it can get better.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So obviously with chronic illness comes a lot of mental health issues probably because of the fear, right?
It's life-changing.
Yeah.
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 So what have you struggled with specifically, like anxiety and depression, I assume?
Yes, a lot of anxiety just because the future is unknown. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, let alone the next minute. For me, and I can only speak on my behalf, but with my case, it went from 0 to 100 so fast. And that for me was super, super scary, because 1 minute you're normal. 1 minute you're doing life like you should, living it to the fullest. I just had a baby. She was 7 months at the time. And I just lost my grandfather, and that just kind of trickled. And with the stress and I guess being postpartum, with all your hormones and everything, it triggers an attack, an autoimmune response, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Your body kind of freaks out. So when all that happened, when it hit, it just went boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
All the way down. It started out with me. I thought I was having a stroke, to be honest. The side, I forgot what side it was. I think it was my right side of the face went numb. My left foot went numb.
So it was a physical thing as well as emotional, mental.
Oh yeah, it started physical. And then it led to, my psyche. And then it led to emotional and everything like that. But that's how it started. And then it went all the way down to couldn't feel my whole body from the top of my head to my toes. I couldn't walk anymore. I couldn't talk anymore. I couldn't feel my mouth and swallowing. So I thought I was like choking all the time. I just couldn't feel like food go down. It was very dangerous.
Yeah.
It was hard. MS also affects your nerves. That's what it affects. It affects your nerves, and your nerves are everywhere.
Yeah.
So I lost the ability to go to the bathroom by myself. I lost the ability to see. I could still see. I wasn't completely blind, but one eye went and looked in the other direction.
Wow.
And this eye was straight, and it would just kind of go back and forth.
Could you see out of both eyes at that time?
Oh boy.
Wow, I'm sure that was really, really weird.
Yeah, it was really, really weird, and it made life difficult.
Right? Especially as a baby.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, you look great now.
Thank you. No, but when all of this happened, I was hospitalized. So I wasn't at home. I was getting treatments and everything at the hospital. And then I was transferred to UCLA, and that's where I still get my care. And then I went to a rehab center here in my hometown. And then I was transferred back to UCLA because my lesions were just growing and getting bigger. So very, very hard, scary time. And, you know, with a diagnosis like that and with everything that I physically went through, it was not okay for my mental health.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody could get through anything like that without it affecting them mentally at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's life-changing.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean,
Yeah.
you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the way that it happened so fast was, I think, the hardest part, because you're one person, you know, 1 minute, one day, and then the next minute you're this new person that has now been labeled as sick. And that will really mess with your head.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can only imagine having a child at that time and knowing, like, did they know what it was right away?
No. So to start my story, I had an attack in 2015. Kind of the same thing happened, but this time it left me intubated, couldn't breathe on my own. I was in the ICU for I want to say a week and a half, I think. No one knew what it was. It started with hiccups and projectile vomiting. It's weird. That's what got me into the hospital. I had my gallbladder taken out because they thought it was a GI issue. Was not. Then my eyes started to jump, which is called nystagmus. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, okay, this is definitely something neurological, something more than a stomach issue.
Yeah.
And then, like I said before, it just started to go downhill fast. I was so weak, I wasn't able to breathe on my own. I was put on, you know, a vent. And then with all of the medications, steroids, treatments, I got better. And I went back up to my baseline at the time. Within that time, I had gotten married. I had a baby, and then hit my second relapse.
So did they think that the pregnancy, or well, postpartum in this case, is what kind of caused that relapse?
They say yes. It's very interesting, but they say that could be the cause, and then stress.
Stress, definitely stress. Stress, I mean, stress
It's
is
not
the silent killer.
Yeah,
It
it
really
is.
is. I mean, that's probably a big thing we need to normalize too, is
Right,
stress can kill you
right.
over time, at least.
Yeah,
Did they think
Yeah.
any of this was genetic, or was it just
they did.
okay?
They did. But I guess with MS, it's not hereditary. It's in the gene pool somewhere, which is still to this day for me, I don't understand. But that's what I've been told.
Interesting.
Yes.
So during that time when you were really struggling, I'm kind of curious, did they have anyone come in and talk to you when you were in the hospital about your mental health, like how this is going to affect your mental health?
I don't really remember them, coming in to talk to me about the future of my mental health. I just remember them saying, you know, how are you doing? Asking me how I am mentally. Um, and I was very, very anxious then. This last relapse that I had, I was very anxious. And, this was back in 2018, and the opioid crisis just skyrocketed. And so they were very, very cautious about what they would give me to kind of relax my nerves. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in the bed, laying in the bed, can't feel my body, can't go to the bathroom on my own, can't see, can't feel, I had ringing in my ears. I just wanted some relief,
Yeah.
So I think that was the hardest part in my hospital stay. But during my hospital stay, they told me about, antidepressants and stuff, and let's try this. This will really help, with your anxiety, but it's going to take at least 2 months to kick in. And I was like, well, am I going to be here 2 months? Like, I need something now. I need relief now. But I'm so happy that they brought that to my attention, and they told me about antidepressants, and they really educated me on what they do, how they, react. And then that's when I started on my medication for my mental health.
Okay. So you're on antidepressants. Are you on any anti-anxiety medication?
Not like every day.
Okay.
Just when I feel overwhelmed, when I feel stressed, I will take some anti-anxiety medication. I've tried a couple medications for like an antidepressant type of use, just because of side effects and whatnot.
Is there anything else that you've taken? I mean, that isn't like medical, like anything else that you've tried to help with your anxiety that isn't necessarily prescribed by a doctor?
Yeah. No, I've tried CBD.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of CBD.
The drops or the ointment that you rub on your skin? Both, yeah.
Both.
I'm a big fan of that stuff.
I am too. I was introduced last year, I think, and I fell in love. I just felt more at ease, calm, less in pain. I didn't have that much back pain. I struggle with a lot of back, like nerve pain along my spine, and that seemed to help. So for me, it was a hit.
Yeah, and what side effects are there to worry about?
Right. Yeah, you could. That was another thing, that you couldn't like overdose yourself with CBD, or if you drank the whole bottle or whatever they say. That kind of put my mind at ease.
Right.
But it really works for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So kind of during that dark time, what would you say your biggest motivator was?
My daughter.
Yeah. I kind of figured you'd say that, but
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah, she was a huge motivation. I would have like this big picture of her in my hospital room, and all the nurses would come in and say, "Oh my gosh, she looks so beautiful." And she looks nothing like me. I don't know if you've seen her on my social page, but she's nothing like me. But yeah, she is totally like my motivator.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think for any parent, that's if there's anything that's going to get you out of your bed, it's going to be your kid.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Literally too.
Yeah, basically too.
So I'm pretty sure I read on your Instagram that you started therapy, right?
Yes. Yeah, I
Awesome.
just started earlier this year, and with therapy, I feel like it's really hard to find a therapist. Number one, they are really hard to find, and you have to kind of go. How would I say this? You have to find which one works for you. Because there's, I've had some therapists that we just don't click, I guess. Like my struggles every day, day to day, differ from someone else who don't have my issues. You know what I mean? So I think just finding the match, your person who understands, who really gets you, I think is so important. But also another thing that's really important is just talking.
Yeah.
Talking really, it's helped me so much.
I bet. I mean, I think we definitely underestimate just the
Getting it
human
off your
connection.
chest, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Is your therapy virtual?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And have you ever had therapy in person?
Yes.
How's that difference for you?
To me, not really that different. I don't really see the difference in, going in. I would rather go in. But, with everything going on, I'll take what I can get,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's where a lot of people are at.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. It's definitely different for a lot of people because I've heard both sides of the story. I've heard a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't like going in and I do so much better over the phone or virtually.
Yeah.
And then other people, they just can't hang with the virtual.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I
think it's a lot of it's like how do you connect with somebody? Some people, they have to like feel the other person there.
Right.
But some people don't.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that.
Definitely. So what is some advice you would give yourself from probably the worst point in your mental illness saga?
So like if I was speaking to myself 2 years ago,
Yeah,
I would say to keep going, to not give up, to just keep pushing, because and I've always said this, like from the minute everything happened, that, okay, what is this trying to teach me? What is this, what's the lesson? And when we're in the midst of a crisis or we're in the midst of something life-changing, you often look at, why me? You don't see past that. You don't see past what's going on to, your higher self, and say, you're going to make it through. This is going to be such an amazing story to tell to people. You're going to help somebody. You can't say that in the moment. It's very hard to even, have your mind go off that way, in that direction, because you're such in a dark place that you don't think you can make it there.
Yeah.
But my advice to myself would just be keep going.
I think that's great. I think that should be the world's motto.
Yeah.
Especially right now.
Keep going
Especially
forward,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
What do you think your biggest strength is?
Well, it's not my arms.
Are you sure?
My biggest strength is,
That's a tough
I
question.
don't know. That's a good question.
It is a hard one, because we don't talk about ourselves like that.
No, we don't.
Mm-mm.
And
That's a problem.
Well,
I think that is a problem.
You seem very positive, and that definitely helps you move forward on.
Yeah, thank you. I think I would say I try to look at, the positive side. And this year I really practiced gratitude. I'm like so big on gratitude. I will write my gratitude list every single morning, 10 things every single morning. And that has taken me from here to here.
Wow.
It's a huge practice that I'm really passionate about. And I think now I am really positive and really just try to look at things in the bigger scheme of the picture, and just the problems that we have now and the problems that I have now, I try to look at as so minuscule. And so, you know what I mean? Like, I have done so much better. And so, like, I've been through so much. Why am I worrying about this? This doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
No?
Well, yeah, you've had a lot of impactful stuff happen to you, and you've made it out, and you're on the other end. So
Yeah.
you can say, hey, look at all that I've gone through, and I've made it out, and I'm probably better for it.
Endurance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it hard writing the gratitude? Do you have like a journal?
A notebook.
Just notebook.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
whatever you can find laying around.
Yeah.
Was that hard at first?
It was really, it felt weird.
Mm-hmm.
It felt very awkward, because you're just not used to doing it,
No.
So I feel like you have to be so grateful for the littlest things. And for me, with my personal journey, the littlest things that I'm grateful now were the biggest things and the biggest victories, that it's like, oh my God, I can pee on my own. Like, yay. Like, that is like second nature to us. Like, you just go to the bathroom, you know what I mean? Like, you just do it. But finding something like so small like that we take for granted is something to add to our gratitude.
Right. And you don't really get to see that until you don't have it anymore.
Right. Exactly.
So I definitely find that very interesting that you said it was hard at the beginning, because a lot of my clients, they find it so difficult to find things they're grateful for. And I get it. Like, we don't talk about it.
Especially when you're in a state of mind where you feel like the world's just crashing down on you,
Yes. Exactly. When we have, when our minds are so focused in on our, littlest to biggest troubles right now, it's hard to look at what we do have.
For sure. Especially right now. I feel like this year has definitely provided a lot of reflection time for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
To realize what they do and don't have. Because a lot of people, they used to go out all the time. And what do you have now that you can't do that?
I know. You have puzzles, you have Netflix, you have Hulu.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
goodness for internet.
I know.
What would we do?
I know. I would feel really bad if this happened like 20 years ago.
Right. Well, probably be better families.
You know what? I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we'd probably hang out with each other a lot more.
Yeah.
Not as much tablet time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Right.
What would you say is a misconception either about you or maybe in this case, MS, that you would like to kind of debunk?
That looking at a person from, the outside doesn't mean that, we have internal struggles, and that can go with, anything, with my disease, with, mental illness, with mental health, with, just about anything that you can't physically see. I have been called crazy by doctors because they physically can't see a broken bone, a scratch on the skin. So that's been hard as well. But the biggest misconception is that just that how do I say this? That I'm faking, I guess, since you can't see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't see fatigue. You can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see pins and needles on the left side of my back, but I can feel it. You know what I mean? It's I think we as chronic illness warriors go through a lot of judgment from people. It can be anyone.
And that's hard. That's kind of how mental illness is too.
Right.
You get a lot of like, oh, well,
Quit being a wuss.
Just put a smile on. You'll be
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Get over it.
Because there's no strategic blood test or nothing solid and tangible that we can see.
Right.
They just assume, well, you'll be fine.
Right.
Suck it up.
Sounds like me. Sorry.
Yeah.
I haven't had a whole lot of struggles with mental illness. So I'm coming at this with no prior experience. She's the therapist. I just listen.
Yeah. So that's a huge misconception with mental illness,
Right. And it's kind of fun that to connect the dots between MS and mental illness, like, hey, just because you can't see it doesn't mean that it's not there.
Yeah.
And that's no fun.
Totally. And the last thing you want to come off to people is you're faking, or you are just doing this for show, or you want attention. It's nothing like that. It's nothing. It's far from that. I don't want attention. You know what I mean? I don't want, everyone to, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't want to be looked at different.
No.
You don't. I don't think anyone does,
Nope. We all want to fit in.
Yeah.
I mean, at least to a certain extent.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you had a lot of social supports that helped you through? Like with family, friends? Do you have a good social support group?
Yes.
That's awesome. How different do you think it would have been without it?
I don't think I would have made it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
People's impact on other people is huge.
Yeah, totally.
Totally huge. Do you feel like you would change any of it?
No,
No,
I
that's
don't think so.
big.
Yeah. Uh, Asking me this now is probably a different answer than if you would have asked me this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I've connected with so many people on, this type of topic of just going through hard times, um, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. I have made so many good connections and so many good friendships that I will cherish forever. Some that I've never even met that live miles and miles from me. I would never, trade that for anything, because if I can go through something that hard, come out of it, tell a story and help someone else, then you know what I mean?
It's inspirational.
Yeah, it's a win for me
Oh, totally.
and a
And
win for so many others,
yep.
to know that you're just not alone and that other people go through this as well. I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, that's huge. That's kind of what at least our goal
Yeah,
is just to let people know, hey, and it's getting better.
yeah,
People do talk about it a lot more, um, but still not enough because
right.
people still judge so much on it.
There's a lot of judgment around, that topic
Hmm.
of mental illness and mental health. Um, and it shouldn't be like that. In my
Mm-mm.
opinion, it shouldn't be like that.
Nope, nope. And I've noticed a lot of people use it loosely too, which they'll be like, "Oh, I'm so anxious," or "I'm OCD." That one, it's like, well, if you were to really see an OCD person, it's it's a real struggle for
Yeah,
them. It's not like, oh, I have to have, my food not touching
right,
something small. So
right.
notice that they definitely they use it loosely, and I feel like that doesn't give it the
Mhm.
power that it needs.
But a lot of that's just ignorance, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
They're
from
uneducated about
right.
it.
Yeah,
And it's not their fault,
yeah.
but um how do you engage in self-care? I'm sure that's a huge part of I know it's a huge part of mental illness,
Mhm.
but in MS, I'm sure you have to do something.
Yeah. I have been really big on the self-care train for a while. But self-care doesn't mean, go get your nails done, your hair done, you know what I mean? It's beyond the superficial
Mhm.
aspect, and it goes a lot deeper. But self-care to me can just, when I'm having a bad day, can just mean as little as saying no to someone. I'm doing too much. I have to take care of my body, number one, so I can take care of my daughter's body. You know what I mean? So I can take care of her.
Yeah.
Um, and people don't realize that when you put yourself first, that it's okay.
Mhm. It's not
Um,
selfish.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people think, oh, you're putting yourself first, you're selfish. How could you do that? But if I don't put myself first and I don't take care of me, nothing else is going to be okay.
Right. Right.
Nothing else is going to get accomplished or done, or um, I have to take care of not only my physical health, but my mental health. It's huge.
It's so huge.
That part
And
is huge.
it is. People just they don't see it as health.
Right.
They just they figure, well, I like to compare it to a dentist. If you were having a tooth issue, you wouldn't just wait. You would probably call up the dentist right away and be like, "Help. I'm
Yeah.
in so much pain." But people don't do that
Yeah.
with mental health or mental illness.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's
and
very important.
it is. It totally is.
What are some of the signs to look for? Like for me personally, I've never had to go to a therapist. I've never felt like I've had an issue with these sort of things. So for somebody who's, going about their day to day and they feel stressed or fatigued, to them that's just normal. How do you know when it's serious, when it gets to that point?
Are you asking me or her? Like, what were her symptoms?
Oh, just in general.
Oh, okay. Well, what were some of your symptoms that you experienced? I mean, obviously going through finding out you have a chronic illness is huge.
If I, get stressed or whatever, my physical symptoms start to appear. So then that's like my trigger, like my body's slow down. So that's how I personally, in my mind, know I can't. I'm stretched too thin. I can't do anymore. But
That's really
that's a
interesting.
good question on, when someone else who doesn't have a chronic illness, how do you know how to slow down?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know you're stressed to the max,
Right. I think it's different for everybody because we all have different tasks and roles in life.
Right.
I would probably say when you start feeling like you can't fill those roles, you're just not functioning at a good level. And that can totally, people don't realize, but you can get physical symptoms as well, even if you don't have a chronic illness.
Right.
I hear a lot of people all the time say that they're fatigued. They're just tired. They just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would say that's a huge sign when you're just like, I just can't.
Yeah.
They can't even finish their sentence because they don't understand. I just can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that's a big red flag. Like, go to your doctor and they can give you guidance and where you can find a therapist. Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any other questions from you? I feel like I've taken the lead.
I feel like that's a really good question, though.
It is. It totally is.
Normalize it.
Yes, normalize it. And I figure the best way is to reach out to people who have good platforms.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure people, if they didn't read your bio on Instagram, they would just probably look at your pictures and think, oh, you have such a perfect life. You must not have anything wrong. But if they didn't read your bio or your captions, they wouldn't see that you have struggles too.
Well, and that's all the social media. I mean, that's what you're seeing. You're looking through a filter, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, it's a highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to get real.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Get real. REEL.
Yeah, that is so true, though. I feel like nowadays you're competing with who has the best feed and who, you know what I mean? It's not, like you said, it's not real. And I try my best to bring both.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I've been through isn't pretty. It's not fantasized. It's very real to the bone. It's real. And I try my best to share my story and what I've been through, along with, attracting people to read my story, and to make more connections. And that's my goal.
Well, and by sharing your story, you're opening it up for other people to share their story. And that's just going to cause a chain reaction. People are going to open up about what's really going on and look for help and give help. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And there's, around the whole mental health, mental illness topic, there is a stigma that I think needs to be broken. And like I said, just normalize it. But it's very hard when, you have all these eyes on you and you're getting judged, not from just randoms. You're getting judged from family members, from friends. And I think, just talking about this topic and what we do about it, and what helps, and that is just going to break the stigma more and more and more. And the more that happens, the better we're all going to be.
Right. I totally agree. I think a lot of people don't even think, like you were saying, they don't even think mental illness exists.
Right.
So you get them, like, oh, you're fine. You're just wanting attention. Exactly like you were saying with the medical portion of it. It's like, no, why would anybody actually want to go through any of this? It's not enjoyable.
No, trust me, I don't want to be stabbed in my arms with IVs anymore. Like, I'm not making this up,
Maybe it's just a reflection of their personalities. Maybe they want the attention, and
that's very true. Yeah.
Definitely.
And I feel like there is such a big judgment on therapies and things that that are out there that are used for helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get on a medication, it's there's a stigma around that, and people think that, oh, you're on medication, you must be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you know it's going to work unless you try it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to me, I don't like that. I don't like, medication is there to help.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there when you need it. And for people that deal with a lot, that they're going to need it. And I just don't want that, stigma around that. And people are fearful to get on medication because they don't want to be judged.
Mm-hmm.
And they can be, solving a lot of their issues if they just go to the doctor, if they just see a therapist, if they, handle their problems head on without outside noise.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
influence.
Yeah. I think cutting that outside noise off is so hard, because we grow up trying to win even our parents' approval from the get-go. So some people can get out of it a lot easier, the whole winning approval from people thing. But either way, we still want to fit in. And, if you have to take a medication for whatever, mental or physical health, you have to do what's right for you.
Yeah.
But a big part there is also being informed,
Mm-hmm.
what medication you're taking. And then also, some of the side effects, because you need to be able to look out for that too while you're taking them. So I think being informed is a big deal. Too many people will say, they'll just listen to their doctor, not really be informed about the decision they're making. And it could have a negative impact as well, I feel.
Yeah. Be your own advocate,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do your
That's
own
huge.
research. And there's a lot of, medications out there that you have to sort through and, filter through and see what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm taking couldn't be right for someone else. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of the beauty of it, is you do have a lot of avenues for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure not with everything, but if something doesn't work, then something else probably will work.
Yeah.
And you just have to do what's right for you.
And that's why they're there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So were you pretty open-minded to different types of treatments? I mean, at least for anxiety and stuff.
Yes, I wasn't the person that I knew I needed help. I knew I couldn't do this by myself. I knew I needed some form of treatment, therapy, drug type of thing. And I was very open about that. I just got a psychiatrist and I said, going in my wheelchair and I am just can't see, and I'm like, I need help.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, give me anything. Like, I'm willing to, fast forward this part of my life, and whatever is going to help me get through it, I'm down.
Right. Right.
But I knew I couldn't do that alone.
That's huge, because a
Mhm.
lot of people, they're afraid to ask for help
Yes.
for whatever reason.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Um,
I
I
know.
could be stubborn.
Yeah. That's another thing with, mental illness is you have to surrender.
mhm.
I feel like in my opinion, a lot of people think they can do it alone by themselves, that they don't need help. And that's fine if that's how you operate.
Mhm.
But for me, in my case, I need help. And I'm not afraid to admit that.
Who are some of the people that you look towards when you're having anxiety or just need to
When you're struggling.
yeah.
Oh, my husband, for sure.
Is that
Yeah.
who we met earlier?
Yeah, that was him.
Oh.
Yeah. And then my mom, she was going to retire 2 years, I think. So maybe this year or last year, I'm not really sure, from her job. But when everything happened, she said, no, I have to help. So she retired early.
Oh.
And she is like my best friend, like, and she's my person,
Mhm.
outside of my husband. But she is ride or die, there when I need her, physically and emotionally. She's just standby all the time.
Grandmas are the best.
I'm
talking about your daughter. You're right.
They are.
For
They
your
have
daughter.
such a strong relationship. She will wake up in the morning. Can I go to Nani's? And I'm like, I haven't even said hi to you, and you want to come on. But yeah,
That's
they have
awesome.
such a sweet relationship.
Oh, that's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, people need people.
People need people.
Oh, I love that.
People, it's true.
I love
You know,
that. It's so true.
people always, like you were saying, they think they can do it on their own. And some people can, but for how long?
Exactly. Yeah, it's
That's
okay to not do everything on your own. It's okay to ask for help. And I feel like this is like a therapy session, and I'm really loving it. I can cancel my one for next week. No, I'm just
there you
kidding.
go. Save some
Um,
money.
I feel like people are, what was I saying? That they don't want to ask for help.
Mhm.
That they're scared of um, other people thinking they can't do things on their own. And, to me, that's not the case. And I'm sure a lot of people who don't want the help but need the help, I'm sure that's not the case for them too.
Right. Right. I think people, maybe, is it underestimate or overestimate? Underestimate how hard asking for help is.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. It's
It is.
harder than you'd think.
Yeah,
When
it
you're
is.
actually there, sitting in the waiting room, and you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Are they gonna?
Overthink it.
Yeah, they're overthinking it.
Yeah.
That's my middle name. Did you know?
Oh, same with her.
Yeah. I think it's a female thing. Have you noticed that too?
Yeah, I think so.
Because he doesn't overthink anything. He's just like, yeah, whatever, let's do it.
Yeah, same with my husband.
Or don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you working on, like in your professional life?
Well, not a whole lot. I took a break from YouTube for the rest of the year.
Why is that?
Why?
Mhm.
What you said? I am really, really hard on myself when it comes to, hold on, my nose is, I have all the windows and fan going. I'm really hard on myself when it comes to like work, I guess. I'm not doing enough.
Hmm.
I'm not, you know what I mean? I guess I'm not doing enough.
Like a perfectionist
Yes.
type thing.
Yeah. That's also another one of my names. But that has put stress on me.
Yeah.
And that's another self-care thing for me is it's not the end of the world if I, take the rest of the year off
Yeah.
for me.
You put yourself first.
Yeah. Because at this point right now, it's just YouTube is a hobby for me. I'm making a little bit of revenue, but not so much where I can support my family and really depend on that. So for me right now, I'm also dealing with some other health issues. And I'm going to have a procedure next month. And I just I don't want to have any duties upon that.
Less stress.
Less stress.
Yeah.
That's huge. Boundary. It sounds like you're really good at setting boundaries.
I'm getting better. I was not good at that in the beginning. I'm a yes person through and through. I hate telling people no. I guess that's just a me issue.
No, a lot of people have that issue.
Yeah, no, like me personally, like I think that's just a flaw in myself that I want people to be happy with me. I don't want issues. I don't like drama, so yes to everything. You know what I mean? Right. And with everything that I've went through, it's really put me at, okay, you are in charge of your life. No one else is. You have to take care of yourself first. And anything beyond that is extra. And obviously family comes first, and anything beyond that is extra. But yeah, I have to set boundaries for my family's well-being, for me.
Right.
It's a must.
Yeah. And I feel like just getting older really helps with that. Because when you're younger, you're just like, yeah, sure. Because you don't want to disappoint anybody.
Yeah.
Maturity.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I always see older people and they're totally okay with saying no.
Yeah.
They're even okay with saying, no, I don't really want to go over to your house. I don't like the way you cook.
Like, yeah, just give me the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe if people would do that more.
Yeah, right. I know.
We might be living happier lives.
Yeah, and we won't get so butthurt when somebody says something we don't like.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you get used to hearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's a whole other issue.
That's a whole other can of worms.
Right.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that I've made on social media. We just converse and we just talk about our struggles, and I feel like this platform or this podcast that you guys have is going to help so many people. So many. Just to know like that there's other people out there that go through shit too.
Oh yeah. And not just other people, everybody.
99.9%.
I don't even think there's that 0.1. I really don't.
Oh yeah.
I've never spoken with one person in practice or in just my personal life who hasn't gone through something.
Definitely.
And
everyone will and can benefit from this podcast. I guarantee.
People need people.
That's
the moral.
I love that.
That should be the name.
Yeah, that is. I love that saying. I'm gonna hashtag that.
There you go. People need people. It's true, though. I think we, just as a human being, need people
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
created to have other people
in our lives.
you know,
Exactly.
Yeah. Another thing I want to ask, everyone goes through something in their life. What do you think the percentage is that people open up about it and talk
Not
about it?
enough.
I'm going to say it's pretty low. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
could be.
know statistically speaking. I'm sure you could probably find it online.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know, because even the people who've said, "Oh yeah, I struggled with it, but I didn't say anything," you're going to get those people, but you're also going to get those who don't even want to say that
That.
they've struggled with it at all. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
going to say fairly low. I mean, pretty darn low. And especially right now, I'm finding, like, I'm going to say the cultural climate changing. Just from our intakes and my own practice, we've seen a huge drop in services, like just in participation. People are not engaging anymore, even if they were doing really well.
Mm,
As optimistic as I want to be and just say,
maybe
hey,
they're
no,
good.
yeah, they're learning on their own.
Well, there's a lot of things that can cover up, what
Mhm.
you have going on in your life: alcohol,
Right.
drugs,
There's a lot of numbing
social
going on.
media,
Yeah,
Yeah.
TikTok
TikTok. That
Oh
helps.
God. Do you guys
just
have
keep
the app?
scrolling. Huh?
Do you guys have the app?
Yes.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of comedy on there. I love it.
There's a lot of, you can find
Oh
anything.
my God. I will like be on there for hours.
Right.
I've done okay. When I first started, like the first 2 days of TikTok, I was on there all the time. And then I was like, well, I probably should get this stuff done because I'm trying to run a business here.
Yeah, you will pass a large amount of time on that app.
Right.
Yeah.
Even my kids are starting to know some of the songs.
Oh, I know. It's so great.
I think that's the worst part about TikTok is the songs get played so often, and then you're humming a song that you don't even like. Like you heard it first time, and you're like, no, I don't like this song. You hear it again, and you start singing it, and then you're tricking yourself.
Oh my God, that is so true. Oh my God, that's so funny.
It's all mind games. That's all
Yeah.
it is.
Look
But
out.
they're getting you to really enjoy that song, so you enjoy that artist, and then you buy their stuff.
Not
There's
happening.
the
Not happening here.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
That's a whole other story too. Yeah, but I definitely think that this is going to be helpful to people,
yeah, I think
as
so.
long as we can get it out there and tell people, hey,
Yeah.
even people who seem like they have perfect lives, influencers, celebrities, whoever, they struggle, and maybe they even struggle more.
Hmm.
We might find.
Yeah,
We'll see.
like we said, Instagram is such a highlight reel.
All of social media. I mean, sometimes even YouTube. You see
Mhm.
all these vloggers who, they get to edit their own videos.
Right. It's so true.
So what are we seeing?
Yeah.
Who knows?
What's real and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on my YouTube, I am like no makeup, no, my hair is in a bun all the time. And I feel like I'm more comfortable over on my YouTube channel. I think it might be because I don't have that many followers on YouTube yet.
Mm.
There's more on Instagram. And I'm very hesitant to post more on stories and really get that vlogger type feel that I do over on YouTube.
Right.
Because there's just more eyes on me, I'm scared of judgment.
I think everybody is.
Yeah, it's scary putting yourself out there.
It's personal. When somebody has something against you, it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even though it's not. I mean, if you look at the data,
Yeah.
when people talk bad about someone else,
They don't know
it's-
anything.
no, they don't know. They don't know you. I mean, especially when you're looking at social media,
Yeah.
but they don't know you, but they're probably struggling so
Mm.
much more.
Yeah.
So,
Misery loves company.
Oh, yes. And they want to suck you in. They want you to feel bad too.
Oh, yes. I know some people like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like you handle a fair share of that on your Instagram at all?
No, not on my Instagram. No.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, what about on YouTube?
No.
Oh.
To be honest, I know I'm going to sound so like insane because I feel like a lot of people are like, I have so many haters and I'm probably going to get more after this, but I have such a supportive group of people on my platforms. I really, really do. On YouTube, I connect with so many people on there. And I don't look at them as commenters. I look at them as people. People turn into friends, in my opinion. And, a few of the friends that I've made that I've will cherish forever, they were just people looking on my YouTube channel, just randoms. I don't treat people different. I don't treat people like they're just no one's. Like, I want to get to know you. I want a friendship with my followers. I want something more than just followers.
Yeah.
I want to make connections,
Because what's the point after that? If you're not making connections, then
no, not at all. There's no
why bother?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they go on social media platforms to connect with people.
That's what they were created for.
Exactly. So let's use them as that,
No, people like to use them to bash.
In politics.
Yeah, politics. Well, that's kind of bashing. I mean, people bash each other about politics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On social media,
There's a lot of
right
that
now.
going on now, too.
Oh, it's crazy.
Right? You just have to stay off of social media.
Especially right now.
That's a challenge.
Yeah.
It is. It's a huge challenge.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you think of anything, even like Pinterest is social media. It's not that interactive.
No. Yeah.
But it still is.
It is. And that's kind of like my getaway. If I, still want to scroll, is where I go.
Kind of vacation, huh?
Yeah. So social media vacation.
Yeah.
Just staycation.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, my followers on YouTube, on Instagram are great. It's the people in real life that I kind of have issues with.
That's so interesting. Do they actually say things to your face?
No.
That's good. Well, I don't know.
I would rather them say it to my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think has more of an impact? The negative you get from the people you know, or the positive you get from the people that you haven't necessarily met?
A good impact or?
Yeah, positive impact.
Probably from people that don't know me that are cheering me on from the sidelines. Because why would people that know me want to hurt me and bring me down?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would feel like that for me personally. Like, the negative is going to make me strive because you're just fueling the fire. I'm going to do me, and I'm going to do me despite what you have to say,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how my husband is too. Yeah.
Girls work differently.
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't like to, have negative energy and bad things talked about me from people that I know that are supposed to be there for me. I don't think anyone would want that.
No. How do you hear about all this? Do
It's
like Facebook or Grapevine?
Grapevine.
Hmm. Hmm. Have you
Yeah.
lived in the same area all your life?
Yes.
Oh, that's probably why.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Same here for us. You know, we live in a really teeny tiny town.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And everybody knows everybody since
Yeah.
they were pretty much born.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Um,
harder to hear negative stuff from real people in your, I mean, not that social media is not real people, but someone, like you said, who should have your back
yeah.
saying just mean things.
Awful things.
Wow. And you
Yeah.
get that a lot?
Um, from these people, yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that impacts your mental health?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How so?
It just gives me anxiety. Um, it gives me anxiety to like the nth degree. It's something that I'm working on with myself, making those boundaries and having them only allowing so much of my mind. And, I'm getting better. They used to steal my peace and take over my life mentally.
Mhm.
But this year I have really come into my own and I'm putting my foot down and I'm not going to stand for it anymore.
What would you say to those people that are hating on you?
Well, number one, I would ask them why,
Mhm.
a legit reason why. Because I've never given these people to, a reason.
Mhm.
But, they're just not my people, I guess.
And that's okay.
Yeah, you're not made
Toxic.
for everyone. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
just
You
cut.
gotta
have to
pick
kick
the
them out.
pick the bad fruit from the tree, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not saying that they're not made for anyone. They're
Yeah,
just
just not
me
you.
personally. Someone who degrades, someone who threatens, not my type of people.
Yeah. And as it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't if it doesn't help you, why is it in your life?
Yeah.
That's
If
the
you're
way I
not
see it.
adding value
Mhm.
to my life, but you're stealing value from my life, there's no reason,
So how do you ignore it? Do you just like if someone says, "Oh, I heard gossip about you" or whatever, do you just say, "I don't I don't need to hear it." Or how do you kind of
Uh,
dodge that?
I laugh it off.
There you go.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
fine. That works.
Because I know what's true. And, when people can't control you anymore, they will control how people see you. And that's been that's that's been a struggle.
Right.
Because I don't like people to think negatively about me at all. I would rather please everyone. Like I said, I'm a yes man. But now I've taken my life into my own hands this year, and I'm just like, enough's enough. I can't do it anymore. I have to put my foot down.
That's awesome. I
Well,
mean, boundary setting.
Kirstyn, you
Yeah.
seem like a strong, amazing person, and I wish you luck on your upcoming operation, whatever that
Yeah.
is.
Thank you so
And
much.
yeah, I think you got good things coming.
Yeah. For
Oh,
sure.
I hope
For
so.
sure.
I think you guys do too, for reals.
Well,
Well, thank you.
thanks for
You guys are
joining
gonna-
us.
Thank you. You guys are gonna do awesome things for people.
Thank you. Thank you for listening today. Please go show Kirstyn some love and support on her Instagram and YouTube. which you can find in the description or on our Instagram at The Mind Podcast Official, which is also where you can find more information on upcoming guests and previous episodes. We look forward to you joining us in our next episode. And if you take away one thing from today, just remember, people need people. Take care.